Ooh.
Hello. Oh my God, how are you today?
It's weird. I know it's only been like 2 days, but I feel like we haven't done a show in forever for some reason. Is that weird or no?
We haven't done a show since, well, we did a live show on Friday and we
Right.
recorded Saturday's show on Friday. Oh, I think you miss me.
Yeah. I mean, like this is like I think all of this is pretty much this was for me actually a little bit entertaining, and I'm just gonna say it like this. Why was this one episode better than the entire season of 90 Day Fiance?
Okay. All right.
I laughed. I laughed harder at this one episode than I did all of last season.
This was a good episode. And by the way, welcome everybody to the commentary zone at night. As you enter the room, please give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell. Most importantly, tell a friend. Okay, so we are talking about 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Season 6, Episode 1. Be careful what you wish for. This was a good episode. But I hesitate to say that because every time I say that, case in point, Real Housewives of New Jersey, we kind of get disappointed.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the problem with this particular iterations because you're bringing back couples we just saw,
Yeah.
and then one couple we already know what happened, we just don't care about.
Oh my God.
It's just true.
Yeah, it is true. It is true.
Like we didn't want to see you the first time. We didn't want to see you the second time. Now we gotta look at you for a third time. Are you serious? I understand
mhm.
Mike has a farm to pay off, but I don't need to look at you.
I was a little confused because because I know the timelines are different where we left off with regular 90 day. They had already broken up but weren't saying anything, probably so that we could watch this mess. So this mess was taping before the reunion was filmed for the last show. I get it, but I don't like to think that hard when it comes to those bubbles. I really don't. They're not worth my time. I wasn't interested 3 shows ago. I wasn't interested this last show, and now I'm not interested this show. So I'm with you on that one.
So do we going to go couple by couple?
Sure. Who do you want to start with?
Let's start. Let's just start with Mike and Natalie, the forgettables, and the we don't careables. We'll just get them out the way because this was dumb.
And the $3 wedding band. At least she knows the value of her marriage.
I mean, she does, but like it was just weird trying to watch them be all lovey. I'm like, we know this is fake. We know this is fraudulent. Like the whole him trying to be Eartha Kitt just killed me. I'm like, don't do that ever again.
Yeah.
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 Mm-mm.
But again, our shop assistants live up to expectations. I was hoping for her because she seemed like she was minding her business.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, she had to play a pivotal role in digging into the dirt, and nobody cared.
Isn't that a damn shame? The shop assistant had to make your scene.
And so, okay, so now they're going to his mom's house for Thanksgiving.
I don't know why you would do that.
Oh boy.
Because here's the thing, you can tell this is a storyline. Because why would you, as Natalie, agree to go to his mother's for Thanksgiving when she tried to have somebody stand up at your wedding to stop the wedding? Why would you even do that?
But did she know about it?
It came out in the tell-all.
Right, but remember, when was the tell-all filmed?
Before this. Oh, you mean filming?
Yeah,
Actual
yeah.
filming wise, got it. Okay, I
Right.
see your point because
She might not know
she may not
yet.
know yet.
So she could be going around delusional, which is like really sad.
But the mothers don't like you. But the mothers don't like you no way though.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're being
that's
completely
true.
honest.
Yeah, and she knows that because that's why she's hesitating. And he's like, just develop a relationship with her. Well, she wasn't that warm and fuzzy when she came to visit you in Squiddle, whatever, wherever he lived near the forest. I don't. We've wasted enough time on them. Is there anything else
Agreed.
Um, okay, so who's next?
Let's do let's do Angela and Michael.
No, can we save them for last?
Fine, then you
Let's do
pick.
another forgettable. Brandon and Julia.
I forgot about them already. I
Uh,
mean, of course they try to catfish us and say like, "Oh, we're leaving the farm." That's a lie. We know that's not true. But we're going to Vegas. I'm like, well, you're celebrating. He's making more money, working less with a new bigger company. So instead of going apartment, using that money going apartment hunting, you're going to go to
yes.
Vegas.
Use it for the
That
deposit.
makes total sense. Unless the new company's in Vegas and you don't plan on coming back, that's a whole different story. Because
No,
he never said where the company was. He just said he took a
that's
new job.
true. That's true.
So,
But he's still attached to his umbilical cord, to his mother, so it's not gonna be far.
but I did like the fact that when the mom asked, like, "Oh, when you guys coming back?" and she said never. That was good. Good job, Julia. I'm gonna give you the one of these because I'm with you on that one. But they go to Vegas as a celebration trip, and I'm like, I just be sensible. Unless production paid for the trip, okay, fine, whatever.
Well, all depending. Again, this all goes back to the timeline. But last year, when airlines were trying to get back up, I saw a lot of like 39, 49, $59 fares,
Right.
and hotels again, bargain basement to just get heads and beds. So they could have
Oh,
gotten away with a really cheap
excuse me,
trip.
Debbie. I'm so
You
sorry. Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? Ow. Oh, what can we do here? All right, so anybody else, you know what? I'm going to put in the link. And if anybody wants to come up and chat along with me and be co-host until Jamal gets back, give me a jingle. So far we've covered the two forgettables, Natalie and Mike, and Brandon and Julia. Um, let's do the third forgettable. Kalani and Asuelu. Why exactly is she looking at houses in the 362 price range? Why? I didn't get that at all. Like, and okay, I was going based on his part-time yogurt sampler job, but now I know that he is a rideshare driver, full-time. So that's really good that he's got the full-time job, but who's going anywhere like last year when this was filmed? I I just have a problem with this storyline, but I'm hoping that as it develops, that it'll get juicy again once his family comes in and they start wanting to fight with people. I think that will be pretty cool. Let's see. I also find it strange that Kalani's sister, Kalini, is all of a sudden her lease is up and she's coming to Utah to stay with them. So she's going to agitate poor Asuelo even further. So it's going to be more people in the house that he's getting free room and board at. Interesting. And Kalani saying that she's trying anything to save her marriage. Yeah, I didn't buy that, Susan. I didn't buy that at all. I thought it was quite odd that you like why couldn't they do it like baby steps? Why can't they rent? Why are they looking directly at buying? That didn't make any sense to me. Um, but then again, it's Kalani and Asuelu. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She is trying to save her marriage, which is more than I would have done in the situation. I would have divorced him a long time ago. But first of all, I probably would have never gotten married to him. But oh well.
Sorry about that.
Hey,
Sorry, everyone. But why is she trying to save her marriage in the first place?
I don't know. I was just babbling on saying that I probably would have never gotten married in the first place.
I mean, I'm sorry, but like, why are you trying to buy a house? I mean, I understand he's like a rideshare driver, um, and all that good stuff. That's really, really cool. But the thing is, like, the house is $362,000.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one working. How's that
Mm-hmm.
financially going to work? You probably won't even get approved for the loan.
I know. Why is
You
she
know what I mean?
wasting that realtor's time if she doesn't have pre-approval? And then the way how he was behaving in the model home.
Jumping on other people's furniture?
Wow. And
Are
it's
you
all
serious?
rentals. But I don't know. Does
I don't.
Kalani work?
I don't think so.
No, she takes care of the kids.
Mhm.
Unless they're counting income from YouTube. Don't they have that YouTube page where he does cooking from where he's from? I can't remember right now. I'm having a brain fart.
Samoa.
Samoa, yeah. And they bring on the babies. Going in debt does not save it. No, it doesn't. And I think the sister had a really good point where she was it the sister? I can't remember. I was
I
watching
mean,
something and they were like, okay, if your relationship isn't that great, your marriage isn't that great, why are you going into a major life decision like buying a home and then you go get divorced and then you have to like get rid of it?
so here's the thing. So they do have a joint YouTube channel, but
Mm-hmm.
they only have 17 videos. Uh, 71. We'll say 71,000 subscribers, and they haven't
Mm-hmm.
uploaded in 11 within the past year. So that's not making them no money.
Okay, never mind that. I was really trying for them. I don't know. Maybe they're on the Cameo and the OnlyFans, you know. She's very
Yeah,
healthy
he
up
makes.
top.
I think he makes. I hear that he does well in Cameo. So that could if
Mm.
they now if they've added that into their earnings, then maybe they would qualify. But I wouldn't um be trying to buy maybe like a rent to own type situation if you can get that in your area. But it doesn't make sense for
Honestly,
you to go out. Go ahead.
I would rent for now. If I am
Mm,
uncertain about my relationship, my marriage, I would not get into any complicated financial situation other than a 1-year lease.
mm. No, that makes a very good point. If you're unsure about where this is actually going, but it's just I just with her, she is going to keep trying this, and it makes no sense. I mean, I understand you have two children with this man, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote man, and you want to make it work for that sake alone, but that should not be the only reason why you want to make it work.
Yeah.
It should be something. It should be something else because the way he's going, there's no real growth there. Like think about it, this was the man who literally got mad, left, and jumped on and tried to jumped on the bus.
Yeah. And did you like I thought this was so very childish when he was like, "Yeah, we just give you the money and we move into the house." When he said that or something to that effect. You're right, Black Lavender. He was ready to move into the house, but I just wonder if he has a concept of money. Uh, it's very difficult to gauge by him. We have a special guest.
Hi.
Hello, Miss
Hello.
Ablavi. How are you? You're on mute, hon.
Sorry. Hold on.
It's
I got
Monday.
my
It's
computer
okay.
fixed.
Yay!
My God. I look so much better. I don't look like. Listen, PC got to work on that camera, man. I got my Mac fixed.
Nice.
Ooh,
Okay. Did you watch the show or did you watch
of course
2
not.
minutes? Okay. Let's
But I
hear
did
it.
see clips.
Ah, okay.
No, I did see clips. I saw Angela and her slave Michael. I saw the perpetual man child Asuelu.
Yeah.
And I saw despicable, disrespectful Andrei.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that one.
Well, they're next.
Who you talked about already?
We talked about the forgettables: Natalie and Mike, Brendan and Julia, and Kalani and Asuelu.
You know what I'm not understanding? I thought Julia was smarter than this. If she's not going to have a child with him, I'm not understanding why she's still with him. Like, I'm just not getting it.
I can see that. But do you think that she's truly believing, like, all of the stuff that he's saying? Like, you know, we're going to move to the big city.
This is why you don't turn a garden tool into a wife. Let her stay on that stripper pole, on her knees, hitting that hard pavement. There would be no way I would get a garden tool for another country as a wife. Are you crazy? All these garden tools we got in America, and I'm going to go get a foreign garden tool? And spend money on the H1N1, please.
But Bobby, remember, I used to always say this about Jenny and Samit. As many unemployed men that we have in this country, you have to go to India to find one.
Well, see, because her money does better. So she could spend her $600 in India and live still in the slums. But in America, she would be living on somebody's couch and sharing.
At the slums, Bobby. Stop there.
Let's call a spade a spade. Listen, I went to Dallas, right? And even there, the cheapest house I found was $600 a month. So, like Jenny, I don't know why she thinks she's too good to work at the Amazon fulfillment center or the FedEx. Because, homegirl, you need a job.
Exactly. I used to think that too. Like, well, couldn't she have just taken her? But we also have to remember that she drew down her retirement.
I found jobs in India from Amazon too with their fulfillment center. And they only said you need to bring your passport. So Jenny, if you're looking for a job in New Delhi, India, they are hiring at the Amazon.
So back to Julia and Brandon. Like, I agree with Bobby on this one. If you're not going to have a baby by this dude, why are you putting yourself through all this? It makes no sense.
Because you would have been better off marrying the daddy than Brandon or the grandfather. At least the grandpapa has money and he's about to die. I mean, God forbid.
Thank you, clean it up for the people.
But you think I'm gonna sit here and be with how you doing Brandon and having his mother who's he's still on her titty just sucking it up like a greedy baby? Are you crazy?
Well, she is young and
she ain't that young. She's a garden tool. So they age like how?
Well, wait. You know, with each of these couples, they did a recap of how they met and all of this. Did they say in last season that she was in Thailand or something like that, and his friend met her and said, "You would be perfect for my friend Brandon"? I don't remember any of that.
No, they said that they met her in the club, and she was dancing, and he liked it. You remember he went on Anastasia.com. This is what they weren't telling you. He went on Anastasia.com, and the woman said, no. His mother calls too much. We're not about to sit here and get scammed. And then he had to go to the local bar, and she's Russian, right? Or she Ukrainian?
Russian.
Yeah. So then he had to go to the local Russian club, and he really wanted to go to the gay club. But he said, no, I got my male friends here from the States. So then he's like, ooh, stripping's too much. Let me go at some go-go dancing. And then he saw Julia. He was like, your hair looks so pretty. You're so gorgeous. Not knowing, he was one of the girls. And that's how they got started. That's what they're not telling you.
No, not telling you. You tell me. But
that sounds unbelievable.
This is from Melanie. Dr. Melanie, I don't believe that any part of clients with feeling dynamics are real or produced. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's a smidge too much for my taste.
Can we go into them? Let's go to them.
We did them already. Go ahead.
Listen, I don't know where y'all from, but where I'm from, that wasn't a bad price, $347,000. Because Kalani's a nurse. I don't understand why she can't get up and get a job. If you want to date a bum, date a bum. But why you living so broke? She's a nurse. She can work from 8 to 8, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. 3 times a week, and she could have him watch the kids when they sleep. I'm not understanding why sis can't get a job. Because we know her broke husband ain't gonna do it.
No, but no, remember, she made that choice.
Mm-hmm.
No, but see, that's not a choice she can make because her bank account is saying you need to go back to work.
No, it is. But she said no. She literally said that she wants to stay home with the kids. She specifically said that. I'm like, oh, but
this is what I don't get. I thought when you stay at home, you're not staying in your mother and father's house. Like if she was 16 and pregnant, I could tolerate this. But 30 and pregnant, I can't. Like if 16 and pregnant, I can tolerate foolishness like this. But 30, like sis, you can't afford to stay at home. You got a nursing degree. Sis, you're gonna have to be out there, getting that 36 hours a week, getting that money. She could make $100K if she's doing it right.
The funny thing is though, if I recall correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that the house they were living in was their parents' house. Their parents were living in the other house. Something, I don't know what's up with the other house, but the parents moved out of the other house and moved into the house that they're in.
Because Kalani is lazy and she need her mother to help her with. Listen, with the kids. I'm sure kids are an issue, but when you have 3 adults and 2 children, 4 adults and 2 children, I'm gonna need you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't nobody tell her? And then he was shooting up her club, talking about he don't like to wear condoms. I mean, don't she sound like those stupid girls in Unexpected? Oh, he don't want to wear condoms. Are you kidding me? 30.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in her when she came up pregnant with the second kid. Like, you had issues with him regarding the first kid. He didn't send support from Samoa while she was pregnant. Why go and repeat the same thing over again if it was a problem the first time?
Oh, how do y'all think about that? Because that's how I feel about Michael. Michael is sitting here, not having a job, sitting here with Angela's purse in his pocket in another country, getting food, housing from another woman. What do you want me to call it? Indentured servitude? Would that make you feel better?
I wouldn't say he's a slave. Here's the reason why. It's because he had every opportunity to leave the situation. And I've heard this on other channels say the same thing. And I'm like, do I agree with that? No. The reason why the slaves are forced into a situation. So I wouldn't call him a slave. He chose this. My personal taste is this. He chose this life because he wants it. Now, how she treats him, do I agree with it? No. But I want to bring this up, and people may not like the point I'm going to make, but I'm going to make it. If Angela were a black woman, I don't think people would be trying to come down on her by the way she talks to him. And that's the hypocrisy I see. If you're going to call out bad behavior and treatment, it shouldn't be based on color. And I feel in this situation, it is based on color because you don't hear too much about how when a black woman yells at a black man, you don't hear anything about that when a white woman yells at a white man.
Michael would not let no black woman talk to him like that. I said what I said and I stick to it. Michael is out here acting a fool. If a black woman was doing it, I would have called him the same thing. So you don't know me, but let me introduce you to me. I said it, I stand by it, and I mean it. Now, if you don't like it, you can tell your homegirl Angela not to have her pet all over the screen acting a fool. We haven't even talked about Angela and her terrible child rearing skills. But nevertheless, let's go on, Debbie.
But why do you think? Well, why would you call him a slave? I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Same reason why I thought the same thing about Yazan and Brittany. I thought that was ridiculous too. She is sitting here with Michael. He does not work. He has no friends. He's sitting up here all on her titties, trying to get to America. Now, if you want me to say indentured servitude, okay. She's paying for everything. What choice does he have? He's married to Angela. He wants to get to America. Now, I didn't even see it as a racial thing. You know, I just can't stand Angela. But if Angela was a black woman, I'd be tearing her up and calling it Michael's slave as well. Y'all saw how I do the Love After Lockup girls.
That's
Let me
fair.
ask a question. Did Angela ask Michael to leave his job because she didn't trust him, like
she
with the
wants him
women
around
and
no
stuff like
other
that?
woman.
So do you think maybe she's like breaking him off a piece of what she's earning to keep him home?
You're right.
So
You know what? I apologize.
Work?
He's not a slave. He's her dependent. Is that better? Her offspring, her dependent, her child, her third child. That's what he is.
I mean, that's that. Yeah, because when I started watching, when she said it, she's like, "Oh, I told Mike that he has to quit his job because I need to know where he is like 24/7." Like, wait a minute, you really told him to quit his job? I'm like, are you joking? Are you serious? It's just that, like I said, we're gonna talk about them anyway. So I've always held the stance that no one should be spoken to that way, but I can't be mad at the situation because he chose the situation. I'm like, if you're choosing the situation, I can't feel bad for you. When I hear people say like, oh, she treats him poorly, she does this, she does that. I'm like, but you guys are enraged about behavior that he's allowing. I stopped being outraged along a while ago because you chose this. You know, you're in the situation. You must like it. I'm gonna go with that. And I wish people would stop trying to paint him as
he's not a martyr.
A victim. They paint him as a victim.
The definition is a person who is the legal property of another one and is forced to obey them. That's not Angela and Michael.
He's not forced to.
She talks to Michael like he's her property. She don't talk to him like he's his man.
But he chose it. That's the point I'm trying to get across here. Slaves have no choice, and that's the key difference I'm trying to make. He is choosing this. That's why I have no sympathy for him. Do I disagree? Like I said, do I disagree with her treatment of him? Of course I do. But am I going to get mad about a grown man choosing his situation? No. Yeah. That makes no sense.
He's made a deal with the devil, to get something that he wants, which is to come to the States, or she's, helping fund his accessibility to her. Like he's made a deal with her. He accepts way more than any other man that I know. And the only reason why I can see him accepting that behavior and all of the restrictions that he's under is because ultimately he thinks he's going to get his end goal, which is coming here to the States. And for some little reason, I really do believe in some little twisted way that he likes Angela and the way how she talks to him.
He likes the green card. He likes the opportunity to do better for his family. And she knows that because Angela could have dated a black man in America. She chose him because she wanted to be financially dependent on her.
Mm-hmm. And he worked himself into that corner. He did. Go ahead, Jamal. Sorry.
No, yeah, she wanted the power. She wanted the power dynamic, and that's completely obvious. Mm-hmm. So he's going along with it, like Bobby said. I agree. He wanted the green card. I have no issues with that at all. That's the bed you want to lie in.
I don't feel bad for him at all. I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm not mad at Angela what she's doing, but in the context, we have to be honest. Although a black woman would have had more credence, Angela knows she's a white woman and she knows how that looks. Is it fair? No. But she's going to be charged harder. Because if it had been a white man doing that, because that's the same thing Ed was doing to Rose. And you see how they tore him up. She's getting a lot of passes because she's a woman. Because Ed did the exact same thing to Rose and people tore him up and he's still trying to find money.
Melanie, good point. Do you guys hear the interviews? Most of fake and produced. I have been watching a lot more of the IG lives. If that's where you are, if you're that's what you're referring to, I've been watching those a lot lately, and it is a lot produced. But for these purposes, what we try to do is stick to what we see on the show and give commentary on that. But I have watched quite a few lives, and Stephanie's for me honestly was a very good live. If you guys have not watched that, it's about 55 minutes, but it's really good. And she broke it all down, and it's like, come on now.
Listen, I don't disagree. Angela is putting on for the camera. However, what she's putting out for the camera, she gets to be criticized for that. And what she's doing, had it been a man, had it been a white man and a black woman, Angela would have been off the show. She gets a lot of credence because she's a woman and because people like how she behaves. There is no woman that does what Angela does to her partner and they're still on that show. None.
Yeah, but a lot of people like Angela. She's got a good following, so they're gonna back her.
Why is it that we can't? If it's fake and produced, you chose to read the lines, and I'm going to judge you for those lines you read. Now I know people get the nuance, and they think when I'm saying slavery, they think I'm talking about 7 years of slave. They think I'm thinking about how America was in the beginning. But no, we're not going to sit here and give Angela a pass. Angela reads those lines so she could better her family, and Michael is fine with it. But I, as the viewer, get to have an opinion, and I, as a viewer, get to say Angela is problematic, and I get to call the behavior what it is.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that's a good thing because all of us can share our opinions in a safe space, and we all have our opinions, and I think it's good that we can come on here and discuss them.
That's the point of having a channel and having a commentary channel. This is the purpose. This is what our channel is based on. Everyone should come in here, give your opinion, debate your opinion, and everyone can chime in and say what they need to say. No one should be having hurt feelings. No one should be upset, because what it is, if you break everyone's points down, you can actually see everyone's point of view. And it's not. And I think here, our points of view are very clear, which is why I enjoy critiquing these shows and talking to you guys about it, because there's no real waffling with anyone. We have our opinions, we say it, we speak on it, we move on. And I appreciate everyone's point of view, because Bobby's correct. Angela is problematic. I can see that. And then I can see where our chat is. I can see the chat saying, their opinion. I can see where they're coming from and their points of view. And Melly's correct in this point. She's like, I can't see what I see. Exactly. If I feel if it's on the screen, on video, I have a right to commentary, and I have a right to critique the behavior. And this is what we're doing. Because this isn't, like I said, going back to the very beginning, Angela, she was not my taste. I know people find her entertaining. I don't find being disrespectful entertaining. And I do also understand that this show is highly produced. That being said, for you to be able to deliver what you deliver in such a realistic manner, that has to be part of you somewhere. If that makes sense. Like, when people play crazy on TV, I look at them like, you play crazy a little too well.
Well, I think too with Angela, this is not a one-time occurrence. She's always playing up this character every time you see her on the screen. I stand by what I said. You guys are willing. You are willing to feel the way you do. I'm always going to consider Michael and that relationship very problematic, but I'm not mad at it. If this is what Michael does to make money and he wants to be with Angela, so be it. But she's getting a critique, no matter if it's fake or real.
And I agree with Montana on this one. I think Angela Rubin is obnoxious. Yes, she is. She is. I mean, and she's very. The interesting is that she's so polarizing. I think this is why TLC keeps bringing her back, is because she brings in the views, she brings in the ratings. They know that putting her on the screen is going to cause some sort of reaction. Like, she's not one of those people who's just there. She's going to cause people to feel a certain way. Some people are going to like, oh my gosh, she's hilarious, she's funny. Other people are like, nah, get her off my screen. But at the end of the day, this is what brings them views. It brings them the views.
I have a question for y'all. Now, both of you brought up different things that struck a chord with me. Somebody brought up the power dynamic, and somebody brought up not being able to do she could date a Black man here in the States and not do that. Do you think that based on some of her previous relationships, she wants to be the one in power, and therefore she needs the added caveat of like the K-1 visa when this all initiated, to get someone overseas, that she can run that power play with and ultimately be the person in control, and have the upper hand more so over someone who is in the next town from her?
So for me, I was the one who brought up the power dynamic, and I do think that's partially accurate, because Michael said on the show last night they met on social media while they were doing like a recap. So they met on social media and this and that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And Angela, she's used to being in control. She's used to controlling the purse strings. So like she always said, like, I take care of like Skyla, I take care of all 6 of my grandkids. She was taking care of her mom. So she was used to having tight control over the finances. And I think she likes that personally. So I don't think that her finding someone who's of equal footing would work for her. Oh, Debbie, can you drop the link for Dr.
Yeah,
Melanie?
I'm dropping it now. Go ahead.
So I just don't think having someone from here would really work well for her, because she has like a controlling nature, in my opinion. From what I've seen of her on the show, she really likes having power.
Marcy has a point here, and I think this backs up Ablavi when she said she could date a guy here, but he wouldn't put up with this, But
neither would the average Nigerian guy. Michael is very strange for a Nigerian man. He's not the average. Most Nigerian men don't.
I'll agree with you, because do you notice that all of his friends like question him and question her behavior?
Yes, I did notice that.
It's very, very weird. They did the same thing with Usman. His family and friends were all questioning that type of behavior.
Yes, the behavior is not is culturally not acceptable. Like Angela and Michael, do you know how outraged the Nigerian people are with her and Michael on the show? You know how much, and he's an Yoruba man, he's from the Yoruba tribe. Do you know how much fallout is in these countries because of this foolishness?
But I will say I have heard that, and I've read in some articles that some Nigerian people were highly upset with Michael and his actions, and they were more talking about his actions versus her actions. So it got me, digging a little deeper. I'm like, okay. And then when I go back and rewatch some of the episodes with his family and how they keep bringing up, well, this is not our tradition. This is not our culture. This is not what we do. I wish you would marry a Nigerian woman. And I'm like, when I put that together.
Oh, go ahead.
When I put that together with the articles plus the on-air conversations, it makes me look like, okay, you're definitely not acting, quote unquote, like the normal Nigerian man. So it got me thinking more, to be honest.
Let's take away the whole domineering thing. The simple fact of how disrespectful she is when she goes to these countries and talking about she's not cooking, that's not culturally acceptable. And you chose to marry into that culture. Michael has never come to the United States. You have chosen to go to Nigeria and see him. She could have gone a middle country like Europe, or she could have gone to North Africa, but she chooses to go to Nigeria and see him. culturally speaking, what Angela and Michael are doing is unacceptable. They would never tolerate it. And this is how I know it. If Michael was married to a Nigerian woman, he wouldn't tolerate what Angela was doing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Her Americanness is why he tolerates that.
Do you think the whole family's getting paid off at this point? Because I was a little lost where they were thinking a 54-year-old woman was going to have a baby naturally.
Okay, well, this is the thing. Like, so not everybody in the society, but there are some people in the society that are colorists and that see that because she is white, she must be rich. They don't see poor white people. So they're thinking that economically speaking, he's going to do better for himself. Economically speaking, they think that he is in marrying a wealthy person, because not everybody, but there are people who believe that ATM machines just give people money in America.
Okay, so by him coming over here, he will do better economically and financially, and be able to
no, they think
send
that
back.
he's going to bring everybody over to America. They're all going to live well. Like, and there are cultural aspects of this. Like, let's say this is real, right? There are cultural aspects of this they have not even talked about. They haven't talked about, tribal things. It's a very tribal community. They tend to not even marry out of their tribe. And even when they do, they have the tribal wedding. They didn't have the tribal wedding, and they got married in Nigeria. There's not enough blending of cultures for me to believe this. Now, if people are offended with the slave remark, I apologize for that. I do think it's very problematic relationship, even if it's acting. I don't think this is love. I think this is scoundrel behavior, because I don't know anybody who acts like this.
I'm starting to see this with Montana, but Stephanie wants to buy her boy toys and control them too. It's the basis for the show now. So I'm gonna try to ask this in the right way, and I apologize. I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm curious that it seems that only the white and black couple, when that mix comes in, this only seems to come into play in this scenario, in this little scenario. You know what I mean? Does it make sense? Because Stephanie being Caucasian, Ryan/Harris being black, then you have Angela, you have Michael. I mean, it just only seems to come into play with this dynamic. I haven't really seen it play out with any other dynamic.
What about Michael from Connecticut with the girl from Brazil?
Yeah.
I felt that way with that.
You felt that way too?
Yes, I feel he purchased her on the boat.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, the guy from the Philippines, he was on one season. She was like 18. He was like 53.
That lives in the trailer?
No, he was wealthy. He had I think her name was Nikki. She was Filipino.
I missed that season.
There was that. Listen, it happens. This is what they're not being honest about. These women are going to these countries for sex tourism. I don't care what you say to me. And they decided that they're a little actress and they're doing it. This is very popular in there are women who travel to Africa, to third world countries, second world countries, and they buy men and they take care of their men. You're from the Caribbean. You know these women.
I know several people who have benefited from that type of relationship.
And that's what this relationship is. Now they put a Stella Got Her Groove Back twist on it, and they bringing the people back for marriage. But that's what most of these relationships are. And I think even with the woman.
Okay, so we've got Dr. Melanie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Dr. Melanie.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I won't be long.
Okay.
Blobby, isn't Sherelle and Perry your aunt and uncle?
No.
Oh, they're not?
Nope.
Just friends?
Yep.
Because they think Angela Deem is one of the greatest people that's ever walked the face of the earth.
I know, I don't.
Well, because you only know her through the TV. And I don't know if you saw, I believe it was John Yates that did, what's her name? Sasha and Emily?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Emily? And Emily doesn't care anything about it. So, and we do have Stephanie's story, but she said that, like, a lot of people thought you may not make it. And, he's so super strict on his diet and so forth. And um, was that whole thing real when he was like telling you not to eat cereal? And she's like, no. And she started laughing. She's like, they bought the food. And, they told him to act like it was too sugary and it was bad for working out. And, the more I hear it, so fake. And so, that's the one hand. Like, again, I can't unhear what I've heard. And this is coming from people on 90 Day Fiancé.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I would guess it's about 25% real overall. Like, they'll tell them if they have a reaction, they'll be like, no, don't have that reaction.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I just dropped the link that I remember we covered this. Debbie, is an article from Screen Rant with a lot of people saying it's highly produced. And to Dr. Melanie's point, I want to go back to an interview with John Yates did with Devin, where she said they had to shoot a certain scene multiple times.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I heard
So
that.
yeah,
I've heard that too. So
it's like, okay.
And then one could say, so why do we watch it? But we're losers, and we do, and it's entertaining, even though we know half of it's fake.
But you know what it really is, though. I think the problem is partially the this whole panorama we got going on in the world. Like, because beforehand, let's be honest, most of us probably ran home because we could not miss an episode of our favorite trash TV. Like for me,
totally.
it was the Real Housewives. It's just I cannot miss an episode. And then
mine's Beverly Hills, and mine's Married to Medicine. Like I can't make plans those nights.
No. And then what happened is we're at home and we can dissect these things because we have so much social media,
right?
And producers are leaking stories now to hype up the show. It takes away from the whole quote unquote reality part about it. But me myself, you know what? It gives us something to talk about. It gives us a good conversation. I go by what I see on the screen. You know what? I'm pretty much with Ablavi and both of you on this one. Angela is not the greatest person. Her behavior is problematic, but
I don't believe that's
is.
her behavior. That's all I'm saying. Like, I used to hate her, and when she threw a pie in Michael's face, I was like,
"Oh, the cake! Was it the cake?
Yeah, remember that?" Oh. Yeah, I was like, "She is freaking psycho, dude! Like, who would put up with that?" Like, I think my husband likes me a lot. I don't know about that much. Nor would I ever do that to him. But what if we did that to each other, which we wouldn't, but we never would be called we're slaves. That's my only issue. In this climate, in this time, when I hear the word slave, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's being her slave. I think he really likes her. And some things are not fake. It's not fake that Angela's getting this weight loss surgery. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be fake. Some of it's real. But I get very, I'm not going to use the word triggered. And not because I'm white, but I would just say to the three of you, one biracial, two black, that I just don't think it's the best thing to make any analogy to slavery unless it's a true analogy to slavery. And because he's taken her crap. I've never been with a man who didn't take my crap. No, I didn't give that much crap. It's just I don't like to hear it in songs. I didn't like when whoever it was pulled on stage and then pushed her off because she sang his lyrics and it was an N-word. Because you know what? We want to stand by your side. I want to stand by your side. But when things like this get so confusing, I just don't think it's a positive thing. Can you understand that?
I can understand where you're coming from, and I feel the way I feel. I think that their relationship, if indentured servitude is a better word, then fine, be it. But I do think there's something about their relationship that is very malicious. I don't think that Angela is just acting. I think this is part of her personality and she plays it up. And that's two different things.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, she's just certainly a tough woman, and we're allowed to be.
But she's the one that's doing this. It's not like I'm sitting here and saying this just because, I just want to get back at Angela. I think Michael and her have a very, very inappropriate relationship on television. I think it's very inappropriate for her to be on television screaming and carrying on about Michael and seeing other women for $1,000 check a week. I think that's very inappropriate.
I think they're all inappropriate, but I just don't.
Well, let's say it like this. Do you think Angela would have still been on the show if Michael talked to Angela like Angela talks to Michael?
No, she wouldn't put up with it. And you know what? If my husband talked to me the way I sometimes talk to him, I wouldn't take it.
Correct. So she's given that credence. So then why is this such an issue when we put a statement to what she is doing? I'm not sitting here saying she is.
Well, maybe you could say she's treating him like a little bitch, but a slave?
Yes, and I gave you the definition of a slave.
Yeah, I know the definition of a slave.
Okay, she doesn't treat him like property. When you say something that's your mind, that's not treating somebody like property. When she's upset when other women are in his presence, when she says,
no other woman's ever been jealous of women in a man's presence.
True, but Angela has a possession like a property.
And that's your take on it, and I respect that's your take on it. But to me, to say that he's like her slave, like she doesn't chain him up to bars. He
there are many different types of slaves. There are people who are enslaved right now that are simply somebody's housekeeper, and they just have limited mobilization, which so does
Michael. I have a housekeeper.
You do, but do you take your housekeeper's passport? Is your housekeeper not allowed to leave the premise? Does she have to work 7 days a week? Because Michael's job is Angela. I'm not saying if she doesn't like the definition, she can change her viewpoint. It is a nasty word, and what she's doing is despicable. She can change the way she acts on this show.
He can leave.
And I do. I looked at the definition, and I saw what they're doing, and I correlated the two.
No, but I'm saying if he can leave, he's free to leave. So he must like her.
He likes the money.
What money?
The money that he gets from being with her. Is she paying him? Is she paying him the wage that she would make if he was on the show by himself? Listen, I'm not saying that Michael isn't complacent with it, but I'm saying for what they two are in this world and their social positioning in life, Angela has to be careful with what she says, and she's not. She's reckless as the mouth, and Michael being black and Angela being white, it's a difference. And it's unfortunate, but it's a difference.
Do you think and any of you guys can answer, but do you think what's going on with Angela and Michael now, do you think your ancestors would be like, yes, that's what a slave is?
Well, my ancestors were brought here on this country simply to work, and they work day in, day out. So they didn't know anything better. And also, Michael has not been in an Americanized society. His culture and things, he might not see it that way. He went through colonialism. So that's a completely different issue. It can be slavery. Slavery is not one thing. There are many types of slavery, and there's still a lot of slavery going on in the world. I said Angela treats Michael like a slave, and she does. She treats him in a way that is outrageous. And Angela being white and Michael being black, that's a problem. Now, he may not see it that way because he doesn't live in this society and he thinks it's totally fine. But Angela sure wouldn't try to do what she does with Michael with somebody with an American passport.
Well, let me ask Debbie and Jamal. Do you think that Angela treats Michael like a slave?
I'll go first. And the reason why I don't see it that way, and this is the core issue why I do not, is because he has chosen this. And for me,
he got to choose.
Slavery is about choice. Slaves have no choice.
Right.
Michael has a choice. He
Right.
has chosen this. I feel
And he can choose
behavior
to leave.
is problematic. Now, where I see Ablavi's stance is Ablavi is looking at the treatment of Michael. She's taking the choice part of it. She's solely looking at how Angela treats Michael, and she's saying Angela treats him like property. He has no choice, this, and that. I choose to look at it as a total thing. I do factor in choice. I see where you're coming from, Dr. Melanie, because you're saying in these times it's very problematic because there's not a direct correlation. She doesn't have him chained up in the basement.
Right.
She's not making him work in the fields,
right,
15 to 18 hours a day. So
she's paying for all his paperwork to come here.
And that's a choice that she's made. I'm gonna kind of take that. I'm gonna take that out of it. So based on
but I just think she does love him.
I mean, if I were a betting man, if I were a betting man, I'm sorry. I mean, $1,000 an episode is not a lot.
No,
to go through this much grief.
Agreed.
And if it turns out that y'all don't love each other, I'm just gonna sit back and laugh at both of you because you both look like idiots for $1,000 an episode. I'm gonna say this though. For me to act a fool on international TV, you might get me around at 5 to 10K an episode. You might get me there. I'm not gonna front. But for a G, no.
Right.
Debbie?
Just based on their relationship as it's evolved over the seasons and the different incarnations of this show, I find it hard to believe that any man would accept this type of behavior, no matter where they are in this world, unless there is something in it for them. I believe he has an agreement. He's made a devil's bargain, and now he has to live up to it. And there may be some form of there is a major power play going on here. He's been sucked into this for how many years now? How can if he breaks off from Angela, now this is just based on the storyline for 90 Day. I have no idea what other interviews they've done. I'm just going based on this storyline. If they were to break up, how is he to even get by financially in his own country now? Because this is such a big no. Every time I hear his friends and then Usman's friends, they all say the same thing. Men do not take this type of behavior from their women. He gave up his job and Angela is financially supporting him in exchange for that so that she could keep tabs on him. That to me is kind of like shady. Like I personally could never do that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't either. I mean, he's
and
like Colton. He's like an overprotective, I'm going to follow. I mean, he's a lot of things.
But he has agreed to do this. And there's not just the image of slavery that we all have of being bought and paid for and abused and forced to work for free, and then you are bought and sold like chattel. There's also mental forms of slavery where you've worked yourself into a corner that you can't get out of. And you're technically in mental bondage. And sometimes when I look at the interaction between these two, especially when they're in person, I always wonder about it. And basically, I am just going off of the show, which could be completely scripted.
But what parts are scripted and what aren't, I imagine, because it's very clear to me.
Right, but all of us, when we're all watching this show, my interpretation of what I'm seeing is completely different from Jamal, is completely different from Ablavi, and completely different from yours, Melanie, because we all come at this show from different life experiences.
Right.
Something could have happened to me in my past that could make me look at this and go, this is complete hogwash. She is using him. She's abusing him. She's this, she's that, the other. Or I could even see, yeah. But again, we don't know the circumstances. Like for me, I would like to learn more about the cultural expectations of a man in Nigeria. I am willfully ignorant of that. And every time the friends come up and question this, and even his auntie, she's the one woman that I specifically remember who clearly details how a man and a woman should behave in a Nigerian marriage. So I would like to know more about that aspect before I make a definitive like stance on anything.
Like prison to me, though. I'm not saying they're in prison.
It's a form of slavery.
What?
Yes, you can leave technically because you can bounce yourself out, but you are held in confinement, and you are not getting paid the right amount of wage to do that work. You are essentially giving.
I want to learn from what you're saying. So when I say yeah, you can leave, and you're saying, oh well, they have these rules. Like, so who's setting these rules?
Okay. You're looking at slavery as the physical, right? You're looking simply as the slave was
of
just
what I know of slavery, and I'm white.
There's the mental aspect of it, right?
Absolutely.
Because technically, if the slaves thought of themselves as being free or didn't want to do it, but they got them mentally. Slavery has a lot to do with mentally. There are a lot of people who are mentally bound. And once you get somebody mentally bound, it makes it easier. It makes it easier for somebody to stay. It's the whole breaking in a person to spiritually speak.
But isn't it more like emotional abuse?
No, because like your emotions are connected to what you are doing. If you believe that you cannot do better, if you believe that this is the only place in life that you are going to make a better life, that person is mentally pulling you by the purse strings. That's what sex slavery is mostly about. There are people who are sold in the sexual slave game. Yeah, they could leave, but they don't see themselves as better. They see themselves that this person is doing so much for me. I must give them everything about me. There is no connection of, oh, well, a free mind, because their mind is connected to the person. It's more of a, I guess you would say, a brainwashing.
Yeah. I do understand better what you're saying, Ablavi. I do, and I appreciate that. For me, I don't know, maybe it's the word and by the way, this word needs to be retired, trigger, but there's some trigger in me that I feel like I've come so far in the last year educating myself and blah, blah, blah. And then to hear he's being treated like a slave, like he has the option to leave. And if she's like, well, if I leave, I won't have any money. Well, go to your auntie and mommy. And like we're blaming Angela because he's choosing to be with her. He doesn't have to. He's choosing to.
But like, if with that argument, technically slavery could be a choice too, because the other option is to die. You have the option to live or to die. If you are not willing to do it, you can take your life. Like that's a dangerous way to have. Just because you are mentally enslaved, it doesn't mean you are less of enslavement than somebody who is physically. Because slavery
No,
has
it
two
doesn't.
options.
But I think that's a really big reach to say that those are the same things. Like, well, yeah, you don't have to be a slave. You can go die. Versus,
Correct, but isn't her livelihood the same thing? If Michael and Angela leaves now, what does Michael have from? Michael is 33 years old. He hasn't been working the past 2 or 3 years. He relies on Angela for everything. He waits on her for hand and foot, and
yeah.
hand and foot.
Yep.
He has no prospects. He's not living in a country where it's easy for him to get another job once he leaves it. He's already being shamed by his community because that's a big part of it, taking them out of their culture, which she has done.
I mean,
he's taking away his friends. She's taking what else should I call it?
I just, it's a lot of blame on her. And
it's not, but she chose to do it. Like, I'm not saying he's not.
No, he chose to quit his job. He made the choices. He chose to quit his job. She didn't say. She called his friends the crazy, whatever she called. Like,
she did. She did.
To lie on him too.
She says to him,
ladies, sorry to interrupt. This conversation has been going on for about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roughly half an hour.
Oh, sorry.
We haven't gotten anywhere.
it's you're both making your points over and over again, and you're hearing each other. But at the end of the day, it seems like you're trying to convince the other one. And while I appreciate the conversation, it has been a very good one. We do have to move on because there's other foolishness that is on the show that I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this.
Your favorites.
Yes, my favorite.
I love you, Ablavi. I'm glad we talked.
No, it's fine. I'm not mad at you. I just don't agree.
And I'm not mad at you. It's okay to disagree.
And that's what we come here for.
Exactly, because we gotta get to my favorite. Melanie, please stay on because we gotta talk about this foolishness next. Before we get to the foolishness, Debbie, did we cover all the other couples that were on this particular episode? I think we covered everybody else. Okay, let's get on to the main event, which is the family podcast. Andrei is TV gold to me. I'm sorry. Like, this man really thought he was going to ask Chuck for $100,000 to start his own business because he got his real estate license.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Sir, but I'm going to say this. Andrei, congratulations that you have a job. I'm going to congratulate you on that.
Yeah, he finally decided to. He's got the job that.
But has he sold anything yet?
No, he's
but he has a job
until he sells something. So,
well, Debbie, I would like to ask you something. Where can you buy and fix up a house for $100,000? I was like, what kind of house is he buying?
Oh no, you get like those really run down, like.
Or if he can get a bank foreclosure, like if Chuck has a friend at the bank who has access to the foreclosure list, you probably won't find any plumbing or any appliances. The AC will be gone. All the copper will be stolen out of the walls.
Absolutely.
But, you can get it for a good deal just to get it off of the bank's foreclosure books.
Well, who would he hire to do that? Because he was the handyman and he did that for like 2 weeks and was done.
Let's just think about this, because I was thinking about this yesterday. He was supposedly a handyman. Do you think he's already been working with Chuck doing the poor handyman job at all of those foreclosures that Chuck allegedly has, where people are complaining about nobody coming to fix the rental? Because that sounds like work that Andrei would do and be very proud of it.
I'm gonna pitch one.
I don't know.
Good for you. I don't believe this storyline. I can't believe. Like, I just look at it and I'm just like, no, this is not for me. Them two. This is the storyline. I'm like, do y'all just like say cut at the middle of these conversations and then just put it together? Because it just be looking It's like, where did this conversation come from?
I don't know how how the producers thought that this storyline was going to be plausible, because when he was telling the sister and her husband that he's just gonna like go up to the ATM of Chuck and just withdraw $100,000, it'd be okay because all the rest of y'all brothers and sisters be taking his money. Like, who thought this was a great idea?
What killed me was like when he said it like
Andre?
like it was natural. He said it like it was natural, and then what's his name, Thomas, and the sister just looked at him like, "Are you've lost your mind? Like, are you serious?" And that's what made me laugh, because they're just like, you've literally lost your mind. And then you have Libby telling like, well, you just need to go at it this way. I'm like, there is no way to go because you're stupid. Like,
yes,
Libby, no, stop it. With her, I struggle with her, and I want to like them both as a couple. I really do. They're my favorites because they're idiots. But Libby can't pick a side. It's always her trying to make everyone happy. Like, no, you can't make everyone happy. You need to tell your husband, like, you cannot ask my dad for money. You have no experience. You've sold nothing. Don't embarrass me even for any more than you already have. It shouldn't be up to your sisters to call him out on these situations, because that's not their husband. He's your husband. You are his baby mama. Get it together. Stop this foolishness. But from what I understand, she's an actress anyway, so hey, they need a storyline, they need a check. Go for it.
Let's talk about that. So she was on, I think it was CSI, because I went and looked up the episode, right?
Yeah, you did. We know you didn't.
And I was just like, I see why you're on 90 Day. But with her and Andre, I'm just so bored with them. Like, I wish Jen was on it, or Chuck meets a woman in another country and does it. Because that would be entertaining if their father got married to somebody like in Eastern Europe or South Pacific, and she was spending all his money.
Have you ever seen her mom?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was at
in
the
Moldova.
wedding. Yeah.
But
she comes over sometimes.
Yeah, she's divorced. She has a new husband.
Was she at the party inside the house when there was a party? Who was it for?
It was at their engaged dinner or something at the mom, and the mom had, like, Andre's mom had spent like all day and night cooking. She was she was the brunette who went with them dress shopping.
Yes. Okay. All right. Got it.
That's the mom. Mom.
Yes.
And I think I'm with Susan on this one. Andre, here's my thing. Based on his actions now, I'm starting to believe that he got kicked out from some shady stuff in Moldova now. I was Team Andre for a cool man, like, you were wrong. You got bullied out. I'm like, you left under some shady circumstances, I think, because you always got a scam running. Like, he was a handyman. He was going to be a truck driver, remember?
Circumstances.
He was going to be a truck driver.
He went through the whole certification and then botched the interview in shorts.
And now you want to get.
He said that it's going to keep him away from his child too long, and he can't be away from his daughter for a week because he was the babysitter.
I.e., sat on the couch, looked at the kid, and put a table together.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're probably going to be the most entertaining couple on this show. I can just see it now.
I just feel like they may be the most fake. She was an actress, and
can we really call her an actress, though?
I mean, I don't know, because what do I know? I don't. They say that Emily was an actress. I never. I haven't seen these. No one said they were a celebrity, but I can't. I mean, the Charlie hates him, the daughter hates him, Chuck really doesn't like him, and he's just gonna cop a squat, order a beer, and be like, I'm thinking I need $100,000. Like, I can't buy into that. No, who acts like that? No one. And Libby wouldn't let him. I don't think she would let him do that to her dad. Like, and let me tell you, I watch it and I don't care. Like, I will sit there and be like, all the time to my husband, like, oh my God, this is so fake. But there are real parts in between, you know.
Yeah. No.
And
Yeah. Most definitely. Most
Well,
yeah.
definitely.
And so
I do think Chuck was very generous
very
in saying,
generous
come and work for my company, get experience,
in the
learn the
fields.
ins
Yeah.
and out of the business, and then, you know, I will fund you in your company or whatever. I think that was very generous, considering, remember the last time he was in Chuck's office and he's like, I never want to work for you, and all of that, and they showed
Yes.
the flashback.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think Chuck does it for Libby.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
he does. Everything he does is for his
For his
daughter and
kids.
granddaughter.
Yeah.
But it there's only so much that you can take of this kind of behavior. You know.
Agree. Yeah. It's gross.
Listen,
And
I'm
especially-
ready for Zaid and Rebecca again. I need to get a good laugh.
Are
Are they on this?
I don't think
I thought they're on this season, right?
Oh, good Lord, even more.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think they are.
Who's on though? They said that Natalie. Oh no, it's Natalie and Jewel and Mike, but they're breaking up. So I figured they would bring another person.
Yeah, why is Natalie and Mike on? I don't
Yeah,
understand. I mean, they
he's
came
got-
to the tell-all apart. Can I tell you what I think?
Mhm.
I actually think Emily had a baby. Wait, and this is nothing about me being a doctor. I think she had a baby. I don't think they're telling anyone. Emily's a little toothpick. And then when I heard she was pregnant, then there was a few months later, then I heard she had the baby. Did you guys hear this? That she was pregnant and had a baby?
No.
Yeah, I heard she was pregnant.
Emily. I heard
You heard?
I heard the pregnant part, but I didn't hear anything
Okay.
about the baby per se.
Then I had heard, oh, they had a baby. There wasn't like a whole bunch of shit. I think they wanted to keep it really secret. And at the reunion, was it the reunion when they went back? It was at the reunion, or was last night where they kept going back. She looks like that naturally thin type of girl,
Mm-hmm.
She's probably gained 30 pounds. So I'm seeing it as she had the baby and that's just baby weight. Because
That
if
could
you
be.
look, if you like, I'm so not fat shaming here. I'm saying like, she'll lose in a second, but the clothes she wore that big like thing over her.
Mm-hmm.
Something sketchy there. I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it.
But what do we think? Since we're at hour 18, I do want to ask about what do we think. Actually, I want to close out the show with this question. What do we think of Ronald and Tiffany? Because
I maybe
saw
hated, but I like Tiffany.
Because I am looking at the previews and I was like, yeah, no. Tiffany run. Divorce.
Tiffany run. Yeah. I
yeah,
like Tiffany.
I run because the way he was talking about when he like told her to get out, I was like, see, nah.
No.
I was like, nah, we can go. We can go on with all that.
Right. If someone did that to me, I couldn't get out fast enough.
Listen, I gotta go. I don't know what's wrong with my connection, but I will see you later.
All right.
It was nice to see you, Ablavi.
But yeah, that was trippy for me. To see him like yell and act that way, I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
No, not to a woman who's been taking care of your kid and her. No, but I actually like her. Do you like her, Deb? You hate her.
I'm neither here nor there with Tiffany and Ronald, but with regards to his sudden change in personality, do you think that he has substituted one addiction for another?
What would the other be?
I don't know. But something that could change your mood and personality. Like, has he substituted gambling for something else?
Like drinking, drugs,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Well,
And
most people do.
Oh, okay.
A majority, I shouldn't say most, I should say a majority of people do, or they go back to what they were doing.
Right.
You know, he has an addictive personality, and yes, that's a real thing.
And she has been away for many months,
7 or 8
right?
months.
With the new baby that
Right.
he hasn't seen in the flesh yet.
Yep.
So I'm just those were the only things that were going through the head with regards to this couple. I just wondered, but I guess I need to see more.
Yeah, we need to see. Then they've been on for a while too, so yes, we definitely do have to see more.
And
of
I
them.
also thought it was very interesting that she needed to come back to the States to have the baby. It was a smart move on her part. I'll give her that.
I would have done it too. Scary. Like, you're scared enough to have a baby. Like, you don't need more to be worried about. You know, I would have done the same thing. But I don't know. You know, I don't know how much COVID played into that. You know, we'll find out. But this was a mess this year with COVID and not being able to see each other for 8-9 months. But I think the real star is going to be Angela. With her
interested.
weight loss and her,
right?
You know, she's gonna look. I've never known anyone to have a weight loss surgery and end there. You know, she's gonna get some work done, and I just think that there'll be a good story.
Agree. I think this season is going to be better than what we think. I mean, the couples they could. Yeah, the couples. I wish they chosen different couples, but that's just my personal opinion. But I think overall, it'll be much better than what we got from 90 Day Fiance, the actual show itself. So
I agree.
Do we have much to pick from? Who would you have put in?
Honestly, I would like to see what Russ and Power are up to. Haven't seen them haven't seen them in a while. That's just my personal opinion. I want to see.
I like Russ and Pow.
I don't like seeing. You know what it is? I don't like seeing couples go immediately from one show to Happily Ever After. I would like them to have a gap season, so we can really see what catching up. I don't like it to be just a continuation from, 90 Day. That's my main issue with it.
What happened to? Wait, did I hear that Lauren and Alexi are going to be on?
They're on Pillow Talk.
They're just back on Pillow Talk. Yeah. I know. So they're just back on Pillow Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
You hate them? You don't like them?
I do like them. They're just so funny to me. I enjoy. You can just tell it's an authentic couple, I guess. That's just my thing. It's just, you can see it, the way they banter, the way they laugh. I like that.
What kind of couple are they, Jamal?
What kind of couple that you root for? Like a real, honest.
No, religion.
You can feel it.
Oh, religion. They're typical.
Jewish.
They're Jewish, right?
Yeah, they're a typical Jewish couple. They just are. Yeah, he's Israeli and she's Jewish. And
I would like to see an update on her parents.
Yeah, we should get an update on her parents. I was shocked to see her parents.
Haven't seen them since the brisk.
Yes.
Like yeah, I would like an update on them. I like her parents.
Yeah, I like her parents a lot too. And I love what she said that one time when they're like, there's thousands of men in New York and blah, blah, blah. Why you got to go all the way to Israel? And she's like, there's thousands of men in New York, Mom, but there's only one Alexi. I just thought that was so sweet. And if you watch the pillow talk when they did it before, he is the most hands-on dad. Like, I'm not sure she likes to touch the baby. I'm kidding, but he's really hands-on and good dad, and I hope their babies are healthy. But and Yara's on, right? I know Julia is.
Yeah,
Yara's
Yara and Jovi are back. Yep, we'll see them next episode, I believe.
We're also missing somebody else. I can't
missing.
figure out who it is that we're missing, but I just feel like we're missing somebody else. But I think this is a lot of couples.
Brittany?
I'm gonna get tired of half of them. I have
Brittany's
a feeling.
on a single life.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So this
half of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple more, but
I feel like I'll like two.
yeah, if you give us, yeah, we'll see. But I think, like I said, like I'm just glad that this looks better than what 90 Day gave us. I mean, the bar is really low in that regard, but still,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah. You know what? No, we can all say whatever we want. We can all say what we've heard. We can all listen to interviews. The reality is, somehow it draws us in, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's something to watch.
Exactly. I'm okay with it. At the end of the day, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can't watch serious TV very much anymore with all the nonsense.
That was good.
You don't have to tell me, guys, but you don't have to tell me. But
no.
Just say, like, I'm keeping it private. But I don't know. Are you guys getting your vaccine? Have you been vaccinated?
Yeah.
Not yet. I want to wait to hear a few more, like,
Okay.
I like to hear a lot of opinions about the different vaccines. So I've heard a lot, so I'm just waiting to hear a few more. Then I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and get mine, so I can.
Okay, I think that's
feel
fair.
good.
Yeah,
I
well,
want you to get it.
My mom and I are fully vaccinated. We had the Pfizer dose 1 and dose 2.
I did too. Yeah.
And the most
Did you get any symptoms after the second one?
For both was the same. I think I had a sore spot where the injection was. So I got it in different arms for each. And I was just tired. Maybe it's because I've been working a lot, but after both shots, I was tired. I think that's it. Like I didn't have any reactions. Neither did my mom.
I had some myalgias after the first. You couldn't have convinced. My arms never hurt, and I did have after the second shot, like just some myalgias, but I didn't have a fever, and they lasted through the night, and I was fine the next day.
For me, who's non-medical, what is myalgia? What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Myalgias. You know when you get a fever and like everything aches, your muscles aches.
Okay.
Yeah, it's muscle aches that like it hurt everywhere. So I had these myalgias, but they're normally that's how you know you've got a fever. But I didn't have a fever. It was the weirdest thing. And when I told I'm like, I have myalgias with no fever. But it can do anything. But we got to get Jamal on board.
He will. He's just doing his research, as like for all of our general health, whether we're just concerned about ourselves or we have to be a healthcare advocate for a parent or for our kids, you have to do your research.
Sure.
And I just really focused on it because I do have an elderly parent living in my home.
Yeah, she has Alzheimer's, you say, right?
Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, cholesterol, being Black, like everything that you can be susceptible to with regards to the panorama. She was there. And I kept her.
Someone calls it the Panacuca. Someone calls it the panorama. You call it the panorama.
Yeah, but this was a means to an end for me and for her because I have restricted her freedoms for
You needed
to keep her healthy.
Of course.
So, in my head, we get the vaccine, we get to 80% herd immunity or whatever it's called.
70 to 80, yeah.
Yeah, and my mom can go out and smell fresh air again, and maybe
Yes.
I can get back my career that I lost.
What'd you do, Debbie?
I was in hospitality.
You were?
25 years down the drain because of this. So yeah,
And
I want to get back
hospitality,
to
like in hotels or?
yes. I was in sales for hotels throughout the Caribbean and in Florida for 25 years, and all
we're
gone
in
now.
Florida.
Oh, I worked for the Westin Diplomat many years ago, in Hollywood, Florida.
Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only reason I say that about Jamal is because there's no doubt once we get close up to that 70 mark, they are going to demand that you show that you've been vaccinated before you're allowed into a movie, like back into normal life.
Can they though? I thought they weren't going to try to do vaccine passports or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Oh.
That's basically your vaccine passport. You won't be able to get on a plane without it. I mean, there's just, without being vaccinated, you're going to keep living like you're, under, like we were living forever, because if, no one wants to be around anyone that's not vaccinated. So, they're going to make you show proof. And so I think that even the people that are hesitant, and I understand Jamal is just looking, at his options, and he's smart, and I don't worry, but I mean, still 25% of the country doesn't want it.
Yeah, but I think with the right with the correct information from the CDC, getting out there and educating the population, we're not stupid. We all want to go back
You're not
to
stupid.
normal. I trust that everyone will make the best decision possible for them and their families, their neighbors, their communities. In this instance, I think, we need to think not about us, but about others. I want to be able to travel again.
Me too. Me too. Did you ever get to watch Noel Castler? Because I spelled it wrong.
No, I didn't. No, but I found, even with the spelling that you sent, I was able to find it, and I did not get a chance to
I'm
watch
glad
it.
you didn't, because when you do, watch the one when he's on. It's a radio show called The Hole, and it says The Hole with Noel Castler. It's like the third one or fourth one in. You don't want to watch his stand. It's not his stand-up.
It's not his stand-up. It's
when he. I mean, he tells you. I mean, he had an NDA, and he's like, good. Let him try and stream it. He's like kind of a good-looking guy, and the things he told, like Trump wears a diaper because he shits his pants.
Oh my God. And on that note, I hate to do this, but I actually have to make a pharmacy run to pick up some of my mom's medication. And it's a bit late down here. My mom lives with me. Yeah. Once she got Alzheimer's, I moved her in.
You're too sweet. And where do you live?
In Florida.
Hollywood?
No, I live in Miami.
Miami. Okay. Well, you go and think about what day you want me to visit. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you were just up the road from me.
In Tampa.
You were just on holiday, yeah?
Yeah.
So
it was a random pick. We didn't want to. We were scared of Miami. We
used to go
to Boca, and then Boca's full of Jews. Yeah.
That's so bad that I'm saying that about my hometown.
I was getting very feisty about hearing the word slavery. So thank you for letting me
No,
on.
it's okay. And again,
No,
we
it's good.
welcome all opinions. We love a great discussion about relevant topics, and
Yeah.
we all kept it classy.
I
Isn't
think
that right,
so.
Jamal?
I wasn't there to be nasty.
No,
I
you
just
never
want to
are.
understand
Yeah.
why are we calling him a slave? But she also, and I know she can go there, but she didn't.
Mhm.
I enjoyed talking to her.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks,
Oblavi's
guys.
got some great opinions,
Yeah.
and they always make you go,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
hmm
I can always learn more.
We can all always learn more.
All right, go
Okay.
get your medicine. Say goodbye to
Yes,
Jamal for me. Have a good
I
night.
will. I will. Good night, Dr. Melanie. See you next time.
Okay,
All
bye-bye.
right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I was just
Okay.
doing a few little work things. I had to
Ah,
clean up. My apologies, but this is a good show. I mean, like I said, this season seems like it's going to be better than like the 90-day show. So I'm hopeful that the bar is low, but it gives us something. It gives us something to talk about.
Not the bar is low. Oh my God. Well, you have more hope for this happily ever after than I do, but I will sit by and I will watch, and I can tell you right now that probably about half of the cast I will immediately put on the forgettables list. Is that bad?
No, it's not, because I'm really only, and I hate to say this, but I don't. I'm only really watching for Libby's family. I'm sorry, I really am. Just to see the shenanigans they get up to. That's all.
Oh my God. I'm just writing a little thank you note to Dr. Melanie for joining us. Okay, so again, guys, thanks for hanging in there for the long haul. And I'm so sorry that I have to cut it short, but it's getting late and
Right.
I gotta go
Pharmacy.
to the pharmacy. It's close by and there's a drive-through, so I don't have to get
Oh,
out of my
nice.
car. Like, I don't even have to wear shoes. But if it wasn't for my mom's meds, I would be on here talking with you all night. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Jamal would have
but
told me to cut off.
that's important though. Like, because I will say one thing: when pharmacies close, they close. So I understand.
Yeah, and I have till I think they're open till 11, and it's 9:38 now. So
Yeah, don't take any chance. Do not take any chances.
And I still have to watch your favorite show, Seeking Sister Wife, so we could talk about it tomorrow. Are we doing the sisters on Wednesday? Or did you not
The
like
Extreme
it?
Sisters. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so you're gonna watch it. You're gonna tell me. I watched it, but I don't have many notes. I think I spent more time watching it than writing about it.
From what I can tell, the previews shenanigans, just shenanigans.
Yeah.
So I know I'll watch it, and I caught up on Mama June, so we have to do that too. That show is hilarious to me.
It is. It is.
I
It
like
always
that show.
has been heavily scripted, but good
Yes,
entertainment.
heavily scripted. I was just like, but you can see, like, I'm like, I can see where you're going, but I get it. I understand you, Mama June. You're trying, girl. I'm rooting for your. I'm rooting for your trying. I'm gonna leave it there until we talk about it.
I'm gonna need Mama June to stop smiling when she's in a serious scene.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Jen. Thank you for all hanging in there and contributing to the conversation. Like, these conversations are good to have. That's what this channel is about: having the conversation, being honest, being open to hearing what other people have to say, even if it differs from your own. So yeah, we did it again.
Extreme Sisters was nuts. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I'm watching it because it looks, like I said, shenanigans.
Yes. Okay, guys, what was this? This was 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 6, Episode 1. Be careful what you wish for, and be careful what you wish for when you tune into our channel. Any topic of discussion can come up.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. Until next time.
Of course.
Bye.